Hi, this is Abby, and this is a video on natal Mars in Scorpio. So just to reiterate what Mars is in the natal chart, it's your action and aggression and your masculinity and your sexuality. So it's kind of like your inner caveman. Now Mars is really well placed in Scorpio because it's a natural ruler of Scorpio along with Pluto. Scorpio itself represents survival. So Mars here is going to do whatever it can in order to ensure the natives' survival. This is a subtle sign. It's not going to act overtly, it's going to act covertly. Mars here tends to hide its weapons rather than display them for all to see. This is a sign with a lot of stamina, so in whatever actions you take, you're in it for the long haul. And actually, Scorpio can get obsessive about things and take it not just to the end, but well past the end, so far that perhaps the other person isn't even interested. When I think of Mars in Scorpio, I think of someone who has weapons of mass destruction. Like if you get this type of person angry, they're not going to come at you right away. They're going to get quiet and it's going to make you scared because you're not going to know what's coming. They're hiding their weapons. You don't know. There's a sort of air of mystery about it. Scorpio is a very subjective sign, so it doesn't weigh things objectively before it takes action. It decides based on its gut instincts and its feelings. If you insult or wound someone with this placement, they can go to great lengths to get their revenge on you, even past the point of it being healthy for them. Scorpio is depicted by the scorpion, but it's also depicted by the eagle, and my favorite incarnation of Scorpio is the phoenix. And I like that because there's something about Scorpio that is so transformative. It can die and then rise from its own ashes new, and it does this. It likes to do this over and over again. They're actually driven to that instinct for death and rebirth. You love the transformation. And the eagle depiction of Scorpio is great because Scorpio has the ability to have this laser vision and focus in on things. The scorpion's a low animal, it's low to the ground, but the eagle flies high. This placement can be provocative. And what I mean by that is, especially when you're children, you might do things that push people's buttons and you're not quite sure what you're doing yet because you're young. And a lot of the things that are associated with Scorpio have to do with adult themes, taboo themes, themes like sexuality, death, maybe truths that people don't want to acknowledge openly because they're socially inappropriate. So Mars in Scorpio can provoke people because its actions sort of push those buttons. Any Scorpio placement likes to push buttons because it likes to understand the underlying truths behind people's behavior. That's why Scorpio loves astrology, psychology. That's why Scorpio videos are the most popular. You can ask any astrologer that has a YouTube channel. They're always the most popular because Scorpios want to know what makes people tick. Now, Scorpio in the zodiac is 150 degrees away from the starting point, which would be Aries on the horizon. Scorpio would be here, and then Virgo is down here. You give away some of your power in these signs. And both of them have issues with control. Scorpio wants to feel like it has control because Scorpio is about shared resources. It's about intimacy, sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, the funds you share with your partners. When you share things, whether it be intimacy or money, you don't have full control over it. You have to share that control. This is also the sign that's associated with death. So that's another thing that we don't have control over. It's almost a sense of we have some control, but there's fate involved or there's someone else involved. It's just not entirely in our hands. Since Mars represents action, aggression, and sexuality, these are the specific areas. If you have this natal placement, you're going to want to have power in. And it's really coming from a place of survival, and it's actually coming from a place where you feel like you might have no control. The immature expression of this placement would be someone who seeks control over everyone, manipulation, underhanded dealings. That's the sort of low energy of Scorpio. But the high fly energy of Scorpio, the more spiritual Scorpio, is going to be someone that simply wants to have control over what they can, which is themselves, and to transcend when it comes to things they have no control of. If you are a Mars in Scorpio and you have a lover, and they leave you, the lower vibration Scorpio is going to be completely obsessive, maybe stalk them, maybe not leave them alone, maybe try to ruin future relationships because it's a fixed sign. They can't let it go easily. But the high flying Scorpio is going to take time to let that loss take its course, but they'll use it to rise above. Once something is over for you, it's out of your life forever. When it comes to sexuality, this placement is actually very misunderstood. People think that Scorpios are very sexual, that they're very sexy, and they are in the way that I previously explained, that they're provocative. But this placement is not obsessive with sexuality in a promiscuous way. Scorpio anything takes sex very seriously because this is an emotional water sign. Its waters run deep. It's not going to give up its power, and it's not going to give away that sort of vulnerable part of itself to just anyone. Typically, Scorpios will only get intimate with people that they really feel they are connected with, and that's because sex isn't just a physical act for somebody with anything Scorpio, but especially Mars and Scorpio. Sex is a way of creating a deeper connection. It's almost a spiritual thing for them. So unless they're trying to get a deeper connection with someone who maybe they don't yet have that connection with, but they're hoping that this is the route to it, they might have sex with somebody like that, and then, it might work, but it might not. They would be deeply affected if it was not a seriously intimate relationship after that. However, Scorpio is a sign that is very much concerned with survival, and that means that they'll do anything as a means to their end point. So if they feel like sex will get them what they ultimately need, they will go that far. You also have to remember that to have sex with someone is to give up some of your power to them, and that's not something Scorpio likes to do. It doesn't do it easily. This isn't like Mars and Sagittarius, which will just have sex with anyone and anything, really. No, I'm kidding. Only I'm not kidding. Scorpios are very concerned with self-protection, and Mars and Scorpio has to sort of act like that. So when you think of the inner caveman of Mars and Scorpio, it's going to be someone who will protect itself at all costs. So that's why when this placement is in an aggressive situation or a situation where they might have to fight, they don't shy away, because Scorpio would never turn its back on the danger. But a Mars in Scorpio knows that someone else's weapons might be bigger, so it has to sort of play its poker face. So this sign sort of exudes from the inside out danger. Don't cross me. Their bite wouldn't come right away. Their bite would come later in the form of some well executed plan to ruin your life, basically. You don't want to mess with somebody with Mars and Scorpio. If you have this placement, you have a lot of stamina, so that's something that's really enviable for a lot of signs, not just in the bedroom, but yes, in the bedroom, but out of the bedroom. Whenever you're doing something, you're doing it for long term, so you have reserves. You know how to reserve your energy, your power, and you know how to draw things to you. So that's Mars and Scorpio. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them, and thank you for watching. Bye!